Is the traditional antique dealer vanishing before our very eyes, or are we simply witnessing the silent evolution of a centuries-old trade? Today on Antiques Central, the biggest shift in our trade since the internet arrived, and what it means for the future. A pressing question reverberates through auction rooms, market stalls, and outside the shuttered shop fronts of the high street. Is the traditional antique dealer vanishing before our very eyes? Or are we simply witnessing the silent evolution of a centuries-old trade? Across the UK, a silent revolution is underway. Independent antique shops, once stalwarts of the high street, are disappearing at an alarming pace. Back in 2005, there were around 12,000 independent antique dealers in the UK. Today, that figure has likely halved to just 6,000. Rising rents, brutal business rates, collapsing footfall, these forces have conspired against the bricks-and-mortar model. But this isn't just retail Darwinism, it's cultural erosion. These shops were never just retail spaces. They were repositories of knowledge, living libraries, places where patina met provenance, and where personal storytelling gave objects new life. So, what happens when they're gone? As high street shops shut, the digital world expands. eBay, Etsy, Vinteria, First Dibs, even TikTok and Instagram are now marketplaces, or at least claim to be. But this new arena brings a different kind of trade, where algorithms replace intuition, keywords eclipse conversation, and that time-earned dealer instinct, the ability to feel authenticity, becomes flattened into hashtags and pixels. Yet it has to be said, the digital dealer isn't without merit. They're agile, adaptive, often younger, more diverse, and less bound by the rules of the more traditional old guard. Still, important questions remain. Can physical quality resist the digital scroll? Can provenance survive the convenience of categories?
And can a grainy 250 kilobyte image
Truly replace the feel of Georgian mahogany under the caress of your fingertips? This is the battle between touch and tech, and while one may triumph, both are at stake. But maybe the more profound shift lies not in where antiques are sold, but in who's buying and why. In my experience as a traditional antiques dealer, today's buyers are often not collectors. I've noticed they're more often than not design-led, environmentally motivated, nostalgia-driven. Just look around. The 2020s are full of mid-century, 70s teak, brutalist ceramics, and vintage tech. Not because of monetary value, it's all down to cultural relevance. That may have been the most important statement I've made so far in this podcast, so I'll repeat it. In my experience as a traditional dealer, today's buyers are often not collectors at all. They're design-led, environmentally motivated, nostalgia-driven. Just look around. The 2020s are full of mid-century 70s teak, brutalist ceramics, and vintage tech. Not because of monetary value, but because of cultural relevance. So, there you go. If you take nothing else away from this podcast, just bear that one fact in mind when you're next outsourcing stock. It might steer you clear of buying duds and save you a few quid. But there's another layer worth unwrapping here. Something that's deceptively reassuring about the digital boom, but also deeply misleading. It's the illusion of abundance. Scroll through online marketplaces today, and you'd think the antique world has never been more alive. Thousands of listings, tens of thousands of vintage objects, instant access, seamless filters. But look a little closer, and the cracks begin to show. Many of the objects listed aren't truly antiques. They're vintage style, mass-produced, mislabeled, or simply poorly understood. What we're seeing isn't a thriving trade, it's a dilution. The digital stage has become crowded, yes, but with imposters wearing disguises. Think of it as a masked ball, and you have no idea who you're dancing with. Make no mistake, this isn't gatekeeping, it's all about integrity. Because when every glass decanter becomes Art Deco and every factory-made print becomes mid-century, the true antique, with its history, its provenance, its quiet dignity, gets drowned in the noise. So we have to ask the question, is visibility the same as value? Is availability the same as authenticity? In my opinion, definitely not. That's why dealers, real dealers, still matter. Because in an age of instant access, it's curation, not clutter, that gives objects meaning. And without meaning, what exactly are we buying? So there's no doubt that sourcing stock today means understanding cultural significance. The younger buyer wants story, cultural relevance, sustainability, not just a return on investment. This is more than a change in taste. It's a shift in how the passage of time itself is perceived by the modern buyer. Meaning and story over age, context and cultural significance over rarity. But beneath the obvious platform shift, another silent danger lurks: the loss of knowledge. Seasoned dealers are retiring. Few apprentices are given the opportunity to step up. Trade secrets, tactile understanding, a lifetime of judgment. It's all slipping away. In my opinion, and I could be wrong of course, TikTok trends and influencers cannot replace the ability to distinguish between a genuine 18th century cabinet and a Victorian knockoff. YouTube videos will not replace the actual feel of a rare Persian rug under your fingertips. If we want the trade to flourish, not just survive, then knowledge must be transferred, not just digitized. This isn't about resisting the future, it's about meeting it with depth, insight, and heritage. So, let's return to the question: is the antique dealer disappearing from the high street? Perhaps the physical presence of the antique dealer, the shop, the counter, the handwritten labels, is fading, but their role, their purpose, it remains more vital than ever. We are witnessing a distillation, not a demise. The essential traits of the antique dealer: curiosity, expertise, storytelling, preservation, they are needed now more than ever. But the dealer of today must expand their role: educator, content creator, curator, digital marketer. This is a calling that requires not just a survival instinct, but clarity, vision, and foresight. Who will rise up to meet this challenge? Will it be you? Let me know in the comments below.
If you've enjoyed listening to this month's podcast, or if you have a question or any feedback about any aspect of the podcast, please leave your comments below and I will do my very best to get back to you with a response. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to joining you next time. Bye for now.